This week on the podcast, we're sharing all about the 50th celebration, and it's more than Walt Disney World's. We're also sharing our first thoughts on Enchanted and Harmonious when we finally got to see them in person with our own eyes. Stay tuned to find out what we thought. You're listening to the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast. Hi, I'm Francine.
And I'm Carrie.
We're two best friends who can't stop talking, usually about Disney stuff.
Sometimes we have fascinating guests, and sometimes it's just us, but it's always positive and fun.
We're happy to have you join our chat. Thanks for listening, and let's get started. Hi, Carrie.
Hello. Wait, I'm gonna ask you. How are you? You always ask me. How are you, Fran?
I'm good. How are you? We sound like
fantastic.
Oh my gosh, we always sound like such boneheads at the beginning of these episodes, don't you think?
Yeah, I was gonna say dork. I didn't think bonehead was the appropriate word for how we act. I think it's more like dork.
What's the difference between a dork and a bonehead?
I don't got the time. We have a podcast to record. I'll explain it to you later. Anyway, this episode, we are going to talk about the 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World and what we thought about it, and also somebody else's birthday.
Oh,
we celebrated.
Yes, we did.
While we were at so this is an anniversary birthday episode.
Anniversary/birthday episode. Yes. Yeah. We're going to talk about our trip and how that all went. Our trip to Walt Disney World for the 50th.
Part one. Let's hope there's only 2 parts, but we can't promise there might be a part 3.
Well, because it's funny, when we sat down to talk about what we were going to cover in the episode, and then we started talking, well, what about the food? What about where we ate? What about Genie? And then we were like, oh my gosh, there's just too much. And we can't do that to people. Like, they can't sit and listen to us for 3 hours.
So we'll try to do it in 2. Last week was just sort of a catch-up. To talk about me and how I did, because, like you said, if people ask how did Carrie do, it's just like weird.
Honestly, Carrie, like, people reach out to me about this stuff, right? Like, I get messages on Facebook and Instagram, even emails now that are, how's this going? People ask about you all the time. So yeah, it was good to get your perspective. So,
but the official trip reports. This one starts
now.
Okay.
That sounded like a commercial. It starts now.
Starting now.
There you go. See, you could be a radio host.
I don't think so. Squeakers make squeaky squeak. The cat lover.
Yes. Okay. So the 50th anniversary, we finally got to go and experience it.
And not too shy of it starting, really. We were only a few weeks late.
Yeah, like 2 weeks late when we arrived. Which, really, we didn't miss anything. Like, we missed that. So. The October 1st day I watched from afar, and then I counted my blessings that we weren't there. Because it was just kind of crazy. Like, it was insanely busy. So
I think it was insanely busy, but I think it was busy, but I think a lot of people were surprised that it wasn't as, like, it could have been worse. Like, I think it was busy when it came to the lines. Yes. And everybody wanting to see everything first, right? Like, or watching the fireworks and doing all of that stuff. And buying the merch. Like, they had people lined up and down Main Street to buy the merch. But I think because everybody was doing those things, that the wait times on the rides didn't seem too bad. Like I watched a lot of... like, I think some of the vloggers were, like, trying to ride, like, opening day rides and things like that. And it seemed to go smoothly, like, that part of the day. So I don't think it was as crazy as it could have been. Like,
as it could have been. It did look a little crazy online. So I was quite happy that we went later. But we planned it that way because I wanted to be there on my birthday.
On my birthday.
And... I've been celebrating my big birthdays, well, lots of birthdays, but the big, like, my 10th birthday, I was there, like the big ones, when they have those big parades that call out what year it is. I say it? There. I know, like, it's one of those things, it's like, do I say it, do I not, whatever. I am why not? I should just own it, right?
I think everybody already knows anyway, so I don't know what you're so worried about.
Well, because we posted the pictures with the big thing in the celebration. So I am the same age as Walt Disney World. I am 15 days younger.
Like, honestly, and if you have to be the same age as anything, and you got to have your 10th birthday, your 25th birthday, your 30th birthday, all of your birthdays...
The big ones,
the big ones at Walt Disney World, that's
it's pretty
that's
cool.
A-okay. That's pretty cool. I think
it's pretty cool. Yeah.
If you have to be the same age as anybody, anything, I think Walt Disney World is where it's at.
Yeah, and I will say this one was so much better than my 25th when they made the Castle of Cake. Like, I know we've talked about this before, but it was before the days of internet. It was before anybody knew. And I showed up at the Magic Kingdom with all of my family, so excited to celebrate my birthday, walked into Main Street and thought, what have they done to the castle? Like, it was so like, oh my gosh. So we did celebrate my 25th at what was Pleasure Island back then. That was a big one. But this one takes the cake, I gotta say.
The decor's a little more tasteful this time around than the cake.
So, before we even get into the 50th, it was the celebration that my friends, including you, you and Becky and Susan planned for me was incredible. Like, it really was a fantastic day. It really...
It only happens once.
Yeah, it only happens once. We were at Bay Lake Tower. The night before I went to bed and I woke up, you said you were going to puzzle. You and Susan were going to puzzle.
I was puzzling.
I know you were puzzling
because all the guys.
And then I woke up the next morning, walked into the kitchen/living room, and there were streamers everywhere.
/50-year-old birthday /10-year-old birthday /quinceañera celebration
There were decorations everywhere. It was pretty phenomenal.
And this is where, like, Susan and I were there for like hours, I think. At least an hour. Like, at least almost probably 2 hours putting these decorations up. You guys were sawing logs and counting sheep and whatever over in the... Not counting sheep because you were sleeping. You were sawing logs next door, having a great slumber. And Susan and I were up till like 1 o'clock in the morning putting these decorations up. And, like, if it wasn't for Susan, like... I don't know what decorations you would have got that morning because, like, I had bought all these things and I didn't know, like, when I got there, I looked at the room and I'm like, oh, this room's pretty contemporary. I don't know how my pink and gold decor is going to match and how am I going to put all this? I should have looked at the floor plan. I should have watched Pixie Dust Fans room tour before I bought my decorations.
I do have a room tour online of this room.
Because I was like, how on earth am I going to hang these things up? Like, I'm 5 foot tall. I'm clumsy. I never do anything like, I can barely hang a picture on the wall. Like, how on earth am I going to put this bag of decorations up? And Susan had brought some decorations too. So she was all over stuff, like climbing on things, on top of things, rope, like tying things onto things, like the kitchen cabinets were tied, like decorations were tied and strung from like kitchen cabinets to like the corner.
It was incredible.
Like, and I was hanging up these things in the doorway so that when you walk through, like, they fell down like 10 times before we went to bed. Susan, like, finally at the end, like, shook her head and, like, got some real tape and, like, taped them up properly so that they wouldn't move. And I don't think they fell until we actually took the decorations down. But
incredible.
we put decorations everywhere. And yeah, like, thank goodness for Susan, because you would have woke up with, like, it all piled up on the table. And I would have been like, can you help? I need your help.
It was awesome. Honestly, like, you guys went over the top to help me celebrate.
Then Becky had a few things. Becky had ordered you or got you a crown, a beautiful 50th
I literally
crown.
had a crown. It's from is it Erebus Brothers or Erebus Brothers? I always call them Erebus. I don't know.
Yeah, me too.
I need to Google and hear how to call it. But these are the guys that are in the parks, Walt Disney World, the crystal and glass makers. And I had a crown, like a full-on tiara with jewels and everything in it, the 50th. It was fantastic.
And this was the special 50th. So they made a crown for the 50th, or a tiara for the 50th celebration. And this is how, if anyone wants to understand Becky in a nutshell, here's the story. So you know how we have, we watch like Walt Disney World News Today, or we have all the things we follow to get up, to find out when all the merch is new or whatever.
Diz Through Brown Eyes always has the best stuff. Diz Through Brown Eyes,
oh my goodness, she always posts all the merch. Like, I don't even know that, actually, this is our friend Curtis and your sister. I don't know, like, we had seen it exactly, but within minutes of it being posted in one of these forums, Curtis had sent it to Becky to say, I think Fran needs this. And Becky
Curtis is an enabler.
And said yes. And Curtis managed to buy it, and then they were sold out immediately. Like, sold out, because they're beautiful, and who else, like, why wouldn't you want this? Like, if you like tiaras and and if you're celebrating a 50th too, like, it seems to be like a match made in heaven.
It was just
perfect. Like, Becky moved on it. Like, there's no, like, maybe, no, yes. So Curtis enabled, Becky was yes. And then because it was, like, Becky, sold out. Yeah. And then it was sold out. And it was so awesome. Like, when you came into the kitchen, it was like, Kim's in a nice blue velvet, protective, like, bag. Yeah. So we had the pouch out and your tiara there, just shining and glimmering, ready for the queen to wear all day long, which she didn't, because she's afraid she's going to break it.
I was so afraid, because it's so beautiful. And I will, I will post a picture of it, because it's so, like, it's now in my cabinet with my other collectibles. It's stunning. It's stunning.
We knew that you weren't going to wear it. We knew 1,000% you were not going to wear that around, but we knew immediately that you were going to put it in with all of your special memories in your cabinet. So
it is. It's right. It's in my cabinet, and it was fantastic. So I did take some pictures with it, but I did not wear it because I was terrified I was going to break it, and I was so worried about it coming home too. Packing it for coming home. So, but it made it home, no issues. So I was very thankful for that. So yeah, I had my tiara. I had wonderful gifts and friends to celebrate with. And we spent the day, we had lunch, which we will cover later. We had lunch, in the Contemporary Resort. And, it was such a fantastic day. And,
well, it was a fun day. We had lots of laughs, and like you said, we had our friends come over. But, like, from our perspective, what the one thing you might not understand about Fran, Pixie Dust fan, is that she's a little bit stubborn, because she doesn't want she didn't want to decide what
a little bit stubborn.
You've heard her talk about how she doesn't know what, she has to pack 45 t-shirts, because when she wakes up and she's on her way to Magic Kingdom, she has to decide, does she feel like it's a Winnie the Pooh day or a Mary Poppins day? Like, she can't, she needs to feel what shirt she needs to wear, which is why she packs 45 t-shirts. So for her birthday, which, whatever, it's her birthday, like, we weren't going to give her guff, but, like, she wanted to see what she wanted to do that day. So she refused, other than lunch, she refused to confirm anything that she wanted to do up until the morning that it was her birthday. Well, we were like, well, guess what? Friends are coming over, because you said you wanted to chill today.
Carrie, you ordered from someone that we found online through Elantris, who's been on the podcast before. Follow her on Instagram, Diz Through Brown Eyes. Yeah. And
we ordered, it's from Sabrina's Delicacies. She does charcuterie boards, and she delivers them in that area of Florida, like to Disney World, but to wherever she lives. And she does these awesome, fun, themed, like, snacking boards.
Yeah. So. It was incredible. So we had wine, we had beer, we had these charcuterie boards. You got gifts.
Your sisters delivered gifts to you, so you had gifts coming, throughout the day.
Yes, which was kind of fun. There was one that called and said there was something for me at the front desk, but we had to go down with ID because it was wine. They couldn't deliver it. So my sister had sent a bottle of Rosa Regal, which is my favorite. It came with 2 little Mickey wine glasses. My friends at Pure Magic Vacations sent me, like, this huge gift, and that one came to the door because there was no alcohol in it. So that was fun. Through Disney Floral and Gifts, it arrived at the door. Hello, here we have this gift. It was fantastic. So thank you to my friends at Pure Magic. Snack pack. Like a snack pack,
kept us snacking.
Honestly,
like we more snacks. We did.
We did. For some reason, there were a couple of nights where we were in the room and sitting around gabbing, because that was some of the beauty of us the four of us together was we'd be sitting around gabbing in the room. And then it was like, I'm kind of hungry. And we always had cupcakes. Susan always made sure we had so many cupcakes. Like our friends came over that night. So we had the charcuterie, we had beer and wine. We had the hats for everyone and the blowers, those things. And then
can't make the noise.
You can't make the noise.
I refuse to make that noise right now. This ham and cheese sandwich is gone. I'm not doing it.
We had them, and they came over and they brought cupcakes.
And we had cupcakes. Some little cupcakes came with the
charcuterie boards.
Yeah, and it's funny. And then I every time up until your birthday, because I know you didn't want it. You didn't want to be a birthday week, which I don't know why you wouldn't. But when we sat down to eat, I told everybody it was your birthday, so they were giving you a cupcake, and then we would pack up your cupcake. Gosh! So when we went for lunch, they gave you a cupcake because I was like, "It's her birthday." Yeah. So then, but you had you had dessert. You already had ordered dessert, so then you had the cupcake to go. So we had to-go cupcakes. Susan had bought cupcakes. We had the leftover cupcakes that the restaurants were giving us. We had the little cupcakes that came with the charcuterie board, and then our guests brought over a 6-pack of cupcakes.
Yeah. Well, no, they brought 12 because they brought the 6 vanilla and the 6 chocolate, didn't they?
Oh, I don't know. There was just lots of.
There was just a lot.
We ate cupcakes. We
never threw a cupcake out. We never threw a cupcake out.
And we had cupcakes that we ate them until pretty much our last night. Like before we moved to the next resort, like the whole week at Bay Lake, we had
Tower.
Cupcakes, I think, every night.
And yet we still managed to eat the snacks that were delivered from Pure Magic Vacations in the snack bag too.
Yep.
And then I wonder why I gain weight. So for everyone, a little insight into me. Yes, I do the Pixie Dust Fan Online podcast, the whole 9 yards. But personally, I don't like being the center of attention. It drives me crazy. It makes me uncomfortable. It gives me anxiety. So the whole thought of a birthday week, it stresses me out. So that was why I was kind of like, one day we'll celebrate, we'll be done. And it's kind of contained with my friends. And it's not a big spectacle. However, my friend Carrie managed to tell everybody all week, wherever we went, that it was my birthday.
I didn't do it late. I just did it up to your birthday. I don't know that I did it after your birthday. I'm respectful of that.
I did it once. Maybe there were a few extra cupcakes, but it was always once more of a whisper and nothing like over the top, which was fantastic. And it really was exactly what I wanted. So thank you. Thank you to you and Becky and Susan and our friends that came. And yeah, it was awesome. So then that night we celebrated, we all took our drinks and we went over to, I think I might've been the only one, and Alec maybe, who had a drink, and we walked over to the Contemporary and we watched the fireworks from the ledge there.
That was cool.
It was pretty cool. It was great. It was great to watch them from there. And it was a perfect day. It was a perfect day. So thank you. Yeah.
Now we can move on and talk about the next best birthday of the year,
which is
Walt Disney World.
Yes. The celebrations are underway, and they seem to be releasing like new merch, new things every day.
Yep.
But
which is good.
Yeah. Because for 18 months they got to keep us coming back. But we got to finally experience the 2 new spectaculars.
Yep. We did.
We got to see Harmonious and Enchanted. So we
almost didn't see Enchanted, but we did.
Yeah. Enchanted we had watched from the Contemporary and from Bay Lake a couple times. But really, Enchanted has stuff that goes on Main Street and on the castle. So it was a little bit... We kind of felt like we hadn't seen it if we didn't see it on Main Street.
Yep.
So there was one night we were exhausted. And we somehow rustled up the energy to walk over
there. To walk over there.
To walk over there.
I don't know how we did it.
Honestly, Carrie, I don't know how. Because remember, we got back to the room and I was like, I don't know if I can make it. Like, I don't know. And you were like, I don't know if I can make it. And then we were like,
we'll just watch it from here again. I'm like, there's no way we can say we've seen it unless we watch it from Main Street. Like, you have, like, I'm all cool for watching them from all different parts of the park. But you have to watch them in front of the castle or with the castle, like maybe not right up front, but somewhere on Main Street to actually experience the way that the fireworks were meant to be experienced. Yes. We couldn't have come back and talked about them from seeing them from afar. So.
Right. So we rustled up the energy.
We did it.
Susan had all the energy in the world. Yep. She's got all the energy in the world. Carrie and I were dragging our butts.
Got enough energy for all of us.
Yeah, we were dragging our butts, but we got there. We left Becky in the room. And the three of us walked over. This was one of the nights where we kept our masks on outside. Because it was insanely busy on Main Street. Like, it was shoulder to shoulder on Main Street all the way back. So we were pretty much just in front of, like, the confectionery, like around that, maybe a little bit ahead of it. Because that was the spot we found where we weren't, like, standing right in front of somebody. Although we're not really tall, so it really didn't matter if they were tall people. But we managed to get there. And what did you think?
I thought they were spectacular. I love them. I love fireworks, though. But I like them a lot. Like, I would almost say, like, and I've only seen them once, and I haven't, like, listened to the music to, like, listen to the words and, you know, and see how I relate or how it makes me feel. But, like, my first feedback of watching them is that they're spectacular and, like, really probably some of the best fireworks I've seen at Magic Kingdom besides the party fireworks. Like, that's the way fireworks should be. They should be, like, all encompassing down Main Street. Like they were exactly the way that I thought they should be. And I wasn't disappointed. So, you know, lots of pyro, lots of amazing things on the castle. They come down Main Street like they've been doing at Disneyland since the...
They finally caught up to Disneyland?
They finally caught up to Disneyland and go down Main Street. And the music, I think the music's great. Like, I need to listen to it a little bit more. But I think the music's great too. So I don't know. I definitely give it 2 thumbs up. And I'm glad that it's there. And I don't really miss the other ones. Even Wishes.
Oh my gosh, take that back.
We have to move forward.
Oh.
Like, everybody wants things more spectacular, and they delivered. They did.
Yeah. So. I'm not as over the top as you about this one.
Yeah, because you have lots more history, though. I'm thinking...
For me, I think, well, I have such an affinity to Wishes. Like, I wasn't even that big over Happily Ever After. Like, I liked it, but it wasn't like it didn't tug on my heartstrings the way Wishes did. Yeah, Wishes
for sure. Wishes for sure. I get that. Absolutely.
So the Wishes for me was a story that was told in fireworks. It was less about the castle and it was more about the fireworks and the music, which to me means I can watch it from anywhere. And that's the part, like, I love that. I could watch it from the Contemporary. I could watch it from Fantasyland. I could watch it from anywhere. And I still got the story. I still got the feel good. I still got the tears in my eyes. Happily Ever After, I was like, yeah, it's cute. Whatever. This one, I feel like I automatically have that sort of resistance to it because it has so much stuff on the castle and Main Street. Because I really value being able to watch it from anywhere. Mm-hmm. And I haven't figured out yet if you get enough of the story when you watch it from anywhere. Do you know what I mean? I think that's my issue with it because I think it's spectacular. Visually, it's amazing. The fireworks and the pyro and all that stuff is incredible.
Yeah.
I just can't figure out if I love it enough to watch from other spots. Like, do you still get the same value out of it if you watch it from somewhere other than Main Street?
Well, I don't know. Probably not. But I think, like me, for fireworks, like, I 100% feel like I don't do this all the time, but they should be watched from in front of the castle. Because, like, at Magic Kingdom especially, that's how they're designed to be watched. So I think that, like, there needs to be a castle and there needs to be fireworks behind it. Not to the side of it, not like a mile between because you're over from like looking from BLT. Like, I think they need to be behind it. They're designed to look at it from that perspective. So, and I totally get it. Like,
it might be after a while, like, because if you're doing a vacation at Walt Disney World once every year, you're going to watch it from Main Street. Like, that's just who you are. It's for people like me who go often where I don't want to be on Main Street every night to watch them. I just want to make sure I can still connect the story from where I'm watching them from. But you're right. Like when you watch from Bay Lake Tower, the fireworks are like a mile behind Space Mountain. They're not even near the castle. Like you really get to see where the fireworks truly are. And they're not behind the castle. Mm-hmm. So it is a different experience, 100%. But I think that was why I love Wishes so much, because that experience felt the same no matter where I was.
And Wishes is very special, but I don't know, like, maybe it'll be something that comes back as like a throwback, 20 years from now. Maybe they'll do like...
It'll be like the Main Street Electrical Parade and
exactly.
be unretired 25
I think
times.
Everybody loved Wishes with all their heart, like, hands down, everybody. So
yeah,
but I think I don't think that if they made Wishes type fireworks, I don't know. That's the thing. I don't think they could ever replace Wishes if they did sort of the same thing without all of the other stuff.
Right.
And then I think now the expectations is that it's like wow, pow, pow. Everything's like down Main Street and interactive and extra super duper, out of this world. You can't believe your eyes. So
right. Yeah, for sure. I think, so that was kind of Enchanted. I want to see that a few more times from different perspectives and really take it in and see, like, it's one of those where I almost feel like I didn't fall in love with it on day one. But I think it has potential for me.
But see, this is the thing too, where like, and we're different because of our histories at the parks, but you did watch it on, did you watch it
live stream.
On live stream?
I did.
And then like for me, I didn't watch it, and that's because I want my first experience to be when I'm standing in front of that castle. And same with Harmonious. Like I need to, because I think you start to, you kind of have, you start to judge it, or you start to worry that you're not going to like it, or it can't feel the same way as you being there and feeling that sound and feeling the fireworks and seeing everything. Like you can't experience that at all until you're standing there yourself. So,
but I think the songs have so much to do with it. Like Happily Ever After was not my favorite, but I will say this. When I watched Happily Ever After in the live stream, that was the first time I saw it, I cried because the song really tugged on my heartstrings. I felt like the Enchanted one it didn't hit my heart the same way. But I think I need to listen to it a few more times to see, like, did I miss it? Is it just not as obvious?
We need more time with it. We need more time with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, what about Harmonious? Because I have a different perspective of Harmonious. What did you think of Harmonious at Epcot? So this is the new one at Epcot. It replaced Epcot Forever, which, quite frankly, I loved Epcot Forever. I thought they should have kept it forever. It was fantastic. Loved it. So I was not feeling special about Harmonious.
Yeah, I think Harmonious is crazy. Like I can't believe that they did it, to be honest. Like when I look at Harmonious, I feel like, because my favorite is always World of Color. I don't care if there's haters on World of Color. But I love it. Like I don't know if it's because I love Las Vegas and those water fountains, and then that's there.
It's very
whatever.
Las Vegas-y.
Like I love World of Color, and to me, like Harmonious is just World of Color, but now new. Like what can we do beyond that? We can have the water, we can have the lasers, we can have fire, we can have all that. But like, what else can we do? Let's add some more pyro. Let's add some fireworks. Let's add some floating, instead of having the water fans and the projections tell the story. Heck it, let's just build these ginormous, I don't know what they are, to project all of screens, digital screens, to project that instead. Like, to me, it looks like World of Color now, like 20 years later, like what they can do when they put their brains to making it bigger and better. I can't believe they did that at Epcot. Like, I kind of wish they did something like World of Color, but then when I saw it, like, holy crap. Like, there's more, every single scene of music is like a finale, fireworks.
Yeah.
Like they play 8 songs and there's 8 finales. Like the fireworks are insane. And so it is spectacular in what it is. Like I don't know that I love the, like how they chose to display certain characters. Like I wish they would have told like a more Epcot friendly story, like a story about like what Epcot is about, or what World Showcase is about, maybe more, and had those types of stories, and less like Lion King and Jungle Book and things like that.
Like the only tie to World Showcase was the fact that the songs were sang in different languages.
Yeah.
That was really the only thing that tied the projection to World Showcase, is that they were singing them in languages from the countries around the water.
I think they could have done something different with the story, but so from that, like, and again, I've only seen it a couple times, so I it's not like I have some wonderful epiphany of a better idea of how they should have done it, or whether I really strongly don't like it or like it. But like the spectacle of it is insane, like absolutely insane. Like they could have no Disney pictures or music and just have whatever images with that spectacle of the fire and the lights and the fireworks and the flames and whatever else they had. Like it could have been no name, and it's spectacular. Like what they've actually done is like, I just couldn't believe it. That's all. I was like, wow. I just don't know if like, the content could have been a little bit different, but like, holy smokes.
I think that one is a good example of when you watch the live stream before you go, because I watched the live stream. So Enchanted, I watched the live stream and I was like, oh, okay. When I watched Harmonious, I was like, are you kidding me? Like it looked so small. Like it didn't wow me at all. And I was like, huh. And then when you're standing there, it's massive. It's epic. It's like, it's out of this world what they've done with the lasers, the fireworks, the water. And I was pretty ticked at them putting these big screens in the middle of Epcot, right? Like in the middle of World Showcase, they had these big barges, and I thought, like, you're so ruining it. Like but now that I've seen what they do with them, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. You can leave them there because they give such an amazing show.
It's crazy.
It was insane. In fact, so we watched it the first night and we were like, whoa. So much so that we waited an hour the next night to watch it again. Mm-hmm. Like we staked out our spot and waited an hour to watch it again because it was that phenomenal. Now, it's not heartstring phenomenal. It's just
wow.
It's just like, wow. Yeah.
I can't believe that they've put together that much craziness all in one show.
But if you asked me, like, I know, like, I'm trying to think, there's nothing that kind of stood out to me in terms of these movies spoke to me or whatever. Like, you know, yes, they had Coco. Yes, they had, like, I'm even trying to think, like, they had Brave. They had
Brave. They had The Lion King. Princess and the Frog.
Yes. I loved that part. It was so big.
They had Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah. Like, so there were
yeah.
I liked that they had the IPs in there, but I wish there had been more, to your point, more of a connection to Epcot, right? Like,
yeah, or even something a little different to
historic.
Like still, just do it a little bit differently. But
so then I have to, when we talk about that, what we wish they had done, I will say that my one thing with Enchanted, that really, I think just left the sour taste with me, is that it's the 50th anniversary and there is no sound in that entire presentation of Walt Disney or Roy Disney. Why did they not have their voices in there?
I don't know. I think that's it, and it wouldn't have been hard just to kind of have it start that way and end that way, like just to
as bookends, right? Like you could have Walt.
It could be removed later. It just
to all who come to this happy place, and then maybe the ending is Roy's dedication of the park or something, anything that harkened back to the brothers that built this, that gave us this 50 years ago, right? Like that part bothered me that they didn't address them in that spectacular. And if these fireworks are supposed to be there for 10 years, then fine. They could have taken out that dedication to the 50th. Like if they had just put it on bookends to the thing.
Exactly the same. Exactly what you said.
So I don't know. I think they missed the mark there. I think they totally missed the mark. But they do have, so the beacons of, what do they call them? The beacons of magic or beacons of hope or beacons of whatever.
Beacons of something.
The parks. So we've been talking for eons about the castle transformation, right? So the castle with the gold and the pink and the purple, like it's just, and the blue, it's just spectacular. But that's been quite an evolution.
Yeah, we've watched it all, like we've watched little bits of it.
What did you think of Spaceship Earth? To me was like almost crying moment.
It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen with my own two eyes.
So we walked up there to look at Spaceship Earth after watching Harmonious.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And I believe when I turned to you after you'd taken 742 pictures, and I turned to you and said, what do you think? You literally said that to me. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Unbelievable. I love it.
Yeah. So this is on Spaceship Earth. They have covered it in lights. Like that entire sphere is covered in lights that does sort of a transformation of colors and it
sparkles.
It sparkles.
Like there's a rainbows. It goes pink and blue and like it's like a little show.
Yeah.
A little light show.
And when you watch it from the front next to that fountain.
Beautiful.
Oh my goodness. Absolutely 100% worth making sure that you get to see that in person.
And it looks like when you're on the other side of World Showcase, it's nice to see it from far away, but like being right beside it, like you can't, it's so bright and so vibrant and so alive.
Yes.
Like, yeah, you have to be standing right there beside it. It's unbelievable. It's so beautiful. So beautiful. That's probably my favorite thing of the 50th is that Spaceship Earth. It's beautiful.
They did an amazing job of Spaceship Earth. They really did.
Yeah. And I feel like with all of the 50th stuff, like that's pretty special. And the fact that there's new, like Harmonious is there, that's new. And Epcot's got a lot of construction. Like I never realized how much there was still to do and how big a space that was until we were on the monorail looking down into it. Holy smokes. But like Magic Kingdom felt like it was a celebration, but it didn't really feel too celebratory in other parks, like other than some banners and some special food and whatever, which it's neat that they're putting special food everywhere and they've got, special packaging and, nothing made me happier than like ordering that, the Mickey Mouse brownie and it came with like special lining that I could like save for whatever, put it in a box and save it forever. But yeah, it definitely felt more, 50th celebration at
the Magic Kingdom.
At the Magic Kingdom, which I guess makes sense.
It makes sense. It's just, it didn't, for all of the talk about the 50th being everywhere, I think you're right. Like, it really only felt celebratory at the Magic Kingdom. The rest just had, it had some stuff, but it wasn't like a big celebration, for sure. Yeah.
Statues are everywhere. They have the statues. That's fun to but I think you kind of get caught up and you forget, like, it truly is a scavenger hunt that you have to force yourself to think about because it's so easy to be in the parks and not and kind of not and like and to lose thought of them. Like I just saw like we took pictures of the Mad Hatter and like Cheshire Cat's like just right there and I didn't get a picture of Cheshire Cat.
How did we miss the Cheshire? I saw that too. How did we miss the Cheshire Cat?
And that's like really I think that's the only there's Simba maybe. I don't know. There's not very many cats, so I should have.
We missed so many because they really are. I mean, but that's the beauty of it, right? Over the next 18 months, we're going to be able to go and find them all. Mm-hmm. It's that big of a celebration. And there really is so much stuff that we need to talk about with the 50th, from the merchandise to the T-shirts, the retro items. Like, we've got all sorts of stuff to cover, which is why we've had to break it into 2 episodes because we'd be talking for 3 hours if we covered the fire. Like, look how long we could talk. Carrie, sometimes I think we talk too much.
I think so too. But let's keep talking. The one thing that really, like, there is food and snacks everywhere. Like, all the restaurants have, or most of the restaurants have a special 50th food item or drink item or snack. Like, there is like what you said with the 18 months and going back, or like just so much stuff to, like, even if it's just one trip, like figuring out what you really want to try and kind of keeping like if you're going and you're only going to go once through the celebration, like you got to make your, like,
make your list.
It's good to kind of go and see what you like, see where the day takes you. But with this 50th stuff, like if you really want certain merch or you really want to really want to try a snack or a drink or whatever, like make a list so you don't forget, because there's so much of it. Like there's so many things everywhere that are special for the celebration that, you could have your heart set on something, and then you don't even think about it the whole time you're there, because there's so many other things that you're like, wow, look at that.
Yeah.
So,
and we were completely overwhelmed by that. There were times where we were in the park and like Becky or Susan would say, didn't you guys say there was something you wanted to try over there on your podcast? And we were like,
oh crap,
I can't, what was it? I can't, like, there was that much stuff. That we really struggled. Now, we did do justice. We did do a lot of the stuff that we talked about that we wanted to achieve for the 50th, which is great. And we're going to go over all of that. But, yeah, there's just so much to experience that you're right, Carrie. Like, if you're going and you're only, like, you think you're only going to visit once in the 18 months, then make sure you've got sort of, here's my top 10 things I want to make sure I see these statues, I eat these foods, I get these treats, right?
Mm-hmm. And leave a little room for some of the stuff that just happens to happen. But you
happens
need to
pop up. Like when you're in the middle of the day and you decide you want a pretzel that wasn't on the list. But then,
then you see something that you really want to
then
eat,
you're like,
because it was on your list, but you're like, oh snap, I just ate a pretzel like 15 minutes ago.
Kind of like the churro. Remember, we're in line and you're like, are you going to get the churro? I'm like, no, I'm not hungry. But that's what happened, because there was just so much. There was just so much. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
So our next episode, Carrie, we're going to cover all of that, right?
Sure. You remember it all.
Yeah. So we've got lists. We've got some stuff written down of what we want to cover. And we're using our pictures to kind of like rejig some of the memories and stuff too.
Because we said before we were going to take like notes, but we didn't.
Yeah, it's, sometimes it's the best laid plans, right? Which is why when we go to the Destination D, we're thinking, instead of taking notes, we're going to try, fingers crossed, we don't know if it'll work, so bear with us. We're going to try recording little snippets while we're there. And then I can string the snippets together. So it might sound a little choppy, but at least it'll be like firsthand, real time. What did you think of that session we were just in? What did you think of that shirt we just bought? Notice I keep going back to the shirts, but all that kind of stuff. That's how we're going to try and do the Destination D. Fingers crossed. That's in a few weeks. Yeah. Okay. So this week, I think we've covered our 50th experiences. And my 50th birthday.
Best we can without having lists and really planned it out too
much. Oh my gosh. But we do talk too much, Carrie. This is what happens,
so
right?
Wrap it up.
Like, I think we... Okay, what's your pixie dust? Let's see. Okay, so it's the time of the podcast, Carrie. What's your pixie dust? What brought you joy this week?
I think since you mentioned all the pictures we took, that I think I had pixie dust that I got a new camera or a new phone before I went on the trip. But the camera on the phone was so much fun, and now that I'm looking back at the pictures, like, it takes fantastic pictures. So, like, I'm so glad I got that phone so that I could have taken all these amazing pictures. And you had your new phone, so we were like we weren't really competing, but we were really like
comparing.
We were comparing, because there was definitely stuff my phone did well, and your phone did just as well. The phones are really good, but like yours would do something a little bit differently than mine, and so, or you would do something and I'd be like, I got to figure out how to do that on my phone. Like, my phone has to do that. If your phone doesn't, my phone does too. So like, looking back at my pictures the last couple of days to kind of prepare and relive the memory so we can remember what we have to say on the next podcast. I'm just so glad that I had it, and it took awesome pictures.
It was pretty awesome. And you're right. Like, we would compare, like, there were certain things your phone did so much better than mine. And then there were things my phone did, like, and then we'd compare and it was like, okay, wait a minute. What if I do it this way? And what if I do it this way? And then we'd end up with just two fantastic pictures.
Well, that's at nighttime when you were taking pictures at nighttime. I would see you were toggling something on your phone, and I'm like, how do I do that on mine? So then I had to like sit and try to figure out how to do the same thing, because I was just like kind of point and shooting at nighttime, and I was like, well, and then I saw what you could do, because you could change that. You were in maybe in a manual setting, or maybe on yours it's not. Like, mine, I have to go into the manual settings, but I was trying to figure out how to get into those so that I could sort of fiddle with the nighttime pictures like you were. So it was a lot of fun, and we've got great pictures now. So.
We do. It's fantastic, the pictures we got.
What's your pixie dust? Are you gonna try to steal that one too?
No, I'm
pixie dust.
I'm not, actually.
Cool too.
Well, my camera's cool too, but honestly for me, so this is what happens. I've talked about it before that I'm terrible at this. I come home, my suitcase sits in a room and it doesn't get unpacked right away. And I'm going to have to unpack for Destination D so that I can pack again. But my pixie dust is really unpacking my Disney treasures. So all the stuff I bought on the last trip, I forgot about like some of the stuff that I bought. And then it was like, oh, look. And I had bought one of those snack mixes that I used to love in the parks, the really spicy ones, the Chip and Dale things. And I had some of it last night. Like, it's just reliving all that stuff as I unpack it. It takes me a while.
Because usually you don't unpack it.
Yeah, pretty much. Until I have to pack again. So I'm actually early in the process this time.
Well, really? Considering, because you regularly might not be going away so soon after your return.
Right.
That your souvenirs are in your luggage going, oh, she was so happy to find me. Now I sit in this luggage, I sit in this case.
Yeah.
Until the next time she packs.
I know, but I do have it out. Like, I already have my tiara in my thing. So yes, that's my pixie dust.
That's awesome. That's good.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you again, Carrie. We will next week all about all the other stuff in the 50th, and let's hope we can contain it to one episode. It's a lot of food. All right.
And a lot of merch.
Thanks for listening to the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the episode.
Make sure you're following us on your favorite podcast player so you'll get a new episode every week. And find us on social media too. We'd love to hear from you.
Till next time, remember, you are never too old to be young. Chase your dreams and design your own happily ever after.